Hi, this is New Time on Silkway TV channel. We introduce you with the most visible news and important events that happens throughout this week in Kazakhstan and Central Asia. More details on politics, economy, social and cultural life with opinions from the most recognizable experts of Kazakhstan and world. I'm Ainura Mangali and this is what you'll see today. Strong and viable partner, what was an agenda of President Tokayev's official visit to Germany. Central Asian startups in Silicon Valley, how to raise the next Kazakh Steve Jobs. We asked the founder of the first ever networking platform for IT entrepreneurs in the USA. Golden medals in Hangzhou. Kazakhstan, with its record number of athletes at the Asian Games, holds 11th place in the overall medal table. Kazakhstan is ready to increase oil deliveries to Germany over the long term, said President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev at the press conference with Chancellor Olaf Scholz during his official visit to Germany. The Kazakh leader mentioned that Astana has already shipped 500,000 metric tons of oil to Germany via Russia's Druzhba pipeline this year.
We paid special attention to strengthening partnership in the development of deposits of rare and rare earth metals. The combination of competitive advantages of Kazakhstan and Germany through the formula raw materials, industry and technology anticipates significant synergetic effect for both sides. I proposed to the Chancellor to create a consortium for the implementation of joint projects on raw material development. In turn, we are interested in the transfer of advanced German technologies and scientific innovation in the fields of renewable energy, especially green hydrogen.
The head of state also declared that Kazakhstan is open to collaborate with Germany on fostering the transit capacity of the Trans-Caspian international transport route and its integration with the Trans-European transport network and the Global Gateway Initiative. During the talks, the leaders agreed to intensify cooperation in trade, economy, investment, green energy and other spheres. Broad prospects for cooperation are also opening up in petrochemistry, metallurgy, transport and logistics, said President Tokayev. Kazakhstan reaffirmed its position on situation in Ukraine. Kazakhstan advocates only peaceful regulation of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, promoting the dialogue between two countries, said Kassym-Jomart Tokayev during his official visit to Berlin, adding that both Moscow and Kiev have already expressed their readiness to negotiate, but the format of the negotiations suitable for both parties has not yet been determined.
Therefore, an era of reasonable, rational indeed I would say, wise diplomacy is coming. Mutual accusation must stop. We need to find a basis for a peaceful negotiation acceptable to both sides. Kazakhstan supports all efforts made by relevant states and groups of states that are proposing various options for resolving the Ukrainian conflict. On our part, we will make every effort.
Kassym-Jomart Tokayev also emphasized that Kazakhstan will adhere to the sanctions regime. President Tokayev underlined that none of Kazakhstan's partners should express concerns in this regard. The country works closely with relevant organizations to comply with sanctions policy. Earlier, Kazakhstan officially stated its commitment for not letting to use its territory for sanctions circumvention. President of Kazakhstan also took part in C5+1 summit with attendance of 4 more Central Asian leaders and Federal President Frank-Walter Steinmeier. The leaders held talks on further strengthening cooperation on bilateral and multilateral tracks. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev also paid attention to the climate change issues, water deficit in Central Asia, suggesting to implement German experience in solving ecology-related problems. Earlier, the Kazakh president also held high-level bilateral meetings with German businessmen, as well as took part in Berlin Global Dialogue Forum, where stated Kazakhstan's commitment to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060.
We remain the first country in the region to have ratified the Paris Agreement and to embrace a carbon neutrality strategy by 2060. A German-Swedish company is channeling a $50 billion investment in its operations in Kazakhstan, targeting the production of 2 million tons of green hydrogen per year. Furthermore, huge investment opportunities exist for businesses aspiring to process raw materials and ores locally, primed for export to the European Union. We are confident that the availability of affordable energy resources, committed state support, and competitive labor costs make this an attractive proposition.
Bilateral relations between Kazakhstan and Germany, as we see, are strengthening. Last year, two states passed a 30-year milestone of diplomatic relations. Both countries stated their position very clearly. Kazakhstan and Germany look forward to cooperating closely in economy particularly. What is on core of Kazakhstan's relationship with European economic powerhouse and how Germany is becoming a key partner for Kazakhstan in the EU? My colleague Balzhan Samigulina is ready to tell more.
For the last few years, a number of meetings on a high level in both countries has increased. In June 2023, the federal president of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, paid a visit to Astana. As a result of negotiations with Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, two countries signed 9 documents in the fields of education, green energy and production of agricultural machinery. The agreements amounted in more than $1.7 billion. President Tokayev visited Berlin third time during the last 4 years. Experts say this is a good signal for mutual interest in developing strong two-sided partnership.
It
is worth noting that the head of state paid an official visit to Germany at the invitation of the country's government. This indicates that Germany attaches great importance to bilateral relations with Kazakhstan, as well as the entire Central Asian region in general.
Germany is one of the main trade partners of Kazakhstan in the European Union. Astana dominates Berlin's foreign trade with Central Asia. The trade turnover between two countries reached $10 billion in 2022. It grew immediately by more than 90%. In May 2023, the top exports of Germany to Kazakhstan were pharmaceuticals, agricultural machinery, tractors, plastic products and chocolate. The top imports of Germany from Kazakhstan were oil and petroleum, other semi-finished products, ferroalloys, raw nickel and flaxseed.
Kazakhstan на данный момент рынок номер 1.
Kazakhstan is currently a leading market for German businesses. The country still accounts for 80% of total trade between Germany and Central Asian states, as well as attracts the most German investments.
Kazakhstan is among the 50 key economic partners of Germany and the 4th biggest oil supplier to the country. The horizons of cooperation now shift to the field of developing joint green energy projects. All in all, European Union appreciates the commitment of Kazakhstan to make a carbon transition and reach carbon neutrality by 2060. That, as experts say, gives a floor for deepening bilateral partnership of Kazakhstan and Germany. Balzhan Samigulina, Tulegan Bisimbayev, Silkway TV channel, Astana.
What has changed in the political discourse with Germany since visit of Federal President Frank-Walter Steinmeier to Kazakhstan, and how Germany foresee the future of bilateral cooperation? We asked Ambassador of Germany to Kazakhstan, Monika Iversen. Please watch the fragment of the interview we recorded earlier in our studio. Hello, Ms. Iversen. Thank you for joining us today. So let us start from talking about political relationships between Germany and Kazakhstan. 2023 has been very significant. And on this regards, we had a state visit of Federal President Frank-Walter Steinmeier. So in your point of view, what did it open on political discussion between our two countries, and how do you see this political dialogue will evolve in the nearest future?
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here. I think what we saw during the visit of our President, Mr. Steinmeier, here to Kazakhstan in his meetings with President Tokayev and other meetings he had, was the willingness to, on both sides, to cooperate more. So for me, that was an important political signal. We have very good relations with Kazakhstan already, but from our view, in the given geopolitical situation, it is even more important for partners, and we consider Kazakhstan an important partner for us in the region here and our most important partner in this region. It is important to even deepen this cooperation in different fields. It can be economy, it can be political dialogue, it can be science, education, and universities, for example. So I think the overarching theme of all these meetings and of the visit itself was let's look for ways to deepen our cooperation in as many fields as possible.
Kazakhstan earlier has officially stated its intention to continue to export oil from Kazakhstan to Germany. So do you see any political and geopolitical risks there? And are the partners from Germany, partners from Kazakhstan ready to solve them?
Well, at the moment, I see that Kazakhstan has been a reliable supplier of oil for Germany for many, many years now. It's one of the biggest factors in our trade statistics, so to speak, and it's very important. Additionally, Kazakhstan was willing also to supply additional oil, in particular for East Germany, for the refinery and trade, in order to enable it to work at full capacity, which is important for the supply of fuels to Eastern Germany in particular.
But we witnessed some challenges arose, which has been
and we've had a very
this year. So
yeah, not with Kazakhstan, but in general. I mean, the whole situation, you know, makes some things a bit more delicate. But we've seen a very good dialogue between Germany and Kazakhstan on these issues, and we have been able to solve any obstacles that may have come up. So
we are on the same page.
We are on this, absolutely, and we are very grateful for Kazakhstan to be able to increase the amount of oil that has been agreed upon now during the visit of the president, and that has been reported in the news as well. So it's not nothing really new, but this possibility also to have these additional supplies, we are very, very happy and grateful about that.
Let us talk about logistics potential of this country, of Kazakhstan, of the region itself. So what does it open for cooperation, bilateral cooperation between our countries in your
I think there's an enormous, let's say, spectrum of economic topics we can work on. I would like to mention, for one, of course, the green hydrogen and renewable energies in general. We know Kazakhstan wants to decarbonize its economy until 2060. And we also know that there's a willingness also to modernize the facilities, to modernize the economy in general, and we're looking at environmentally friendlier technologies also for reducing carbon emissions. So all these are areas where I think we have a lot to offer. Germany has a lot to offer in Kazakhstan, to support Kazakhstan in modernizing its economy. So that is one area. Another one which is very important in our view is the critical raw materials. That has been not just the matter of an agreement between the EU and Kazakhstan, but also many years ago we already had an agreement with Kazakhstan. So we have an agreement, German-Kazakh agreement on critical raw materials, which could use a bit of life and a bit of more substance to it. So I hope that German companies are now increasingly starting to look at Kazakhstan as a true alternative for supplying raw materials, which so far, critical raw materials, minerals, which have so far maybe come from other countries, and when it is more difficult there to look at Kazakhstan as a real alternative. So that is something we're looking at. And I'm happy that this year we had a lot of business delegations already who came to explore these opportunities.
Just recently, I think.
Just recently, yes.
There was a business forum.
Yes, I mean, both delegations, the foreign minister last year and the president this year, were accompanied by big economic or business delegations, and then there are individual delegations that are coming, high-ranking representatives of business.
Right?
Yes, so there's progress on that, and I think that's also reflected in our trade numbers, which have from last year increased about between 80 and 87%. Up to 90%, yeah. So it's really significant. It's a bit of it is still the recovery from COVID years, I would say, but it's also real growth in there and real increased interest and even stronger interest of at least German companies here in Kazakhstan.
You also mentioned green hydrogen, which is a very big topic here in Kazakhstan, and if we talk about renewables in particular. So what is progress on this project so far? Can you share some details?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've had an agreement of the company, the German-Swedish company Svevent, also with the government about the general prospects of investment here. And from what I understand, it is clear in which areas in Mangistau they will be able to establish the solar and wind energy appliances in order to produce the energy that is needed in order to produce green hydrogen. And the plan, from what I understand, is that they will begin building everything as of 2025 and are looking at production as of 2030, a full capacity 2031.
So now we have a timeline.
There's a timeline for that,
production,
and yes, the plans are in place. And for us, it would be 34 gigawatts, so it's an enormous amount of energy of green hydrogen that would be produced, and would then have to be seen if it is used here in Kazakhstan. Part of it is exported to other regions. So those are still things that would need to be decided by the company and according to the market. But the plans for building it are now in place. Our president was visiting when he was in Aktau and looking at that, and we're looking forward to activities to start.
Thank you very much,
Thank you very much.
Ms. Iversen, for your time and for your answers. Thank you. The head of state, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, during this week greeted prime ministers of Kyrgyzstan, Russia and Belarus in his official residency, Akorda. Kazakh president highlighted the importance of developing joint projects in machinery industry, energy and agricultural sectors with Kazakhstan's partners within Eurasian Economic Union. What else was on the agenda? Why does it matter? And what other important topics related to Central Asia are worthy of your attention? My colleague, director of Eurasia Monitoring Analytical Research Center, Alibek Tajibbayev, will tell you in details. Alibek, good evening. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ainur. I'm ready to share with you my top 4 picks for today's review just in a moment. The Kazakh president held an official meeting with prime ministers of Kyrgyzstan, Russia and Belarus in Akorda. Welcoming the heads of the cabinet, President Tokayev expressed gratitude for supporting the Innerprom Kazakhstan international industrial exhibition held for the first time on Kazakh soil.
Что касается Казахстана, то, как вам известно, мы абсолютно привержены дальнейшему развитию интеграции и сотрудничества в рамках Евразийского экономического союза.
As for Kazakhstan, we're absolutely committed to further development of cooperation within the Eurasian Economic Union. We believe that this union is a very promising integration organization. Great opportunities lie precisely in the economic potential of this union. Kazakhstan believes that all the EA-EU member states should strictly adhere to the agreement that was signed here in 2015 and deal with the issues of economic integration, such as the development of trade and the opening the markets of our countries for the mutual exchange of goods.
As he noted, more joint ventures and significant projects in manufacturing, energy, mechanical engineering, agriculture and other sectors of the economy led to the growth of foreign trade between the countries, which stood at 13% this half year. Addressing the prime ministers, the Kazakh president said that the Eurasian Economic Union member states hold huge reserves to strengthen cooperation considerably. The importance of such events for the development of Eurasian integration processes can hardly be overestimated. Kazakhstan is of great importance for increasing the economic subjectivity of the Central Asian region. On September 25-27, Hao Ping, vice chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress, visited Kazakhstan. The visit aimed to activate further interparliamentary cooperation between China and Kazakhstan. Our countries have shown high economic activity throughout the post-pandemic period, which must be supported by the level of interaction at the interparliamentary cooperation. On September 29th, Tatarstan hosted the next round of consultation on Afghanistan within the framework of the Moscow format. India, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, China, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan attended the meeting. Representatives of the new Afghan administration are scheduled to attend. Talgat Kaliyev, ambassador at large of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Kazakhstan, represented our country. The agenda of the consultations included an exchange of views on the current situation in Afghanistan, including regional security, inclusive government and respect for women's right to work and study. In addition, the issues of combating terrorism and drug trafficking were touched upon. Well, hopefully it could activate the prompt processes overcoming current challenges in the Central Asian region. Asian Development Bank improved the forecast for economic growth in Uzbekistan and Tajikistan in 2023 and 2024. In April, ADB expected Uzbekistan's GDP to grow by 5% this year. In the September report, the forecast was revised upward to 5.5%. Uzbekistan's economic growth was more substantial than expected thanks to fiscal stimulus, sustainable foreign trade, industrial development, mining, and increased investment. Similar to Tajikistan, where the index increased from 5.5 to 6.5% for this year and from 6.5 to 7% for next year. The upward revision is explained by the growth of domestic demand for goods and services, which is facilitated by an increased remittances. That's it from my part for today, Aynur. Giving the floor back to you.
Alibek, thank you very much. Alibek Tajibai from Eurasia Monitoring Analytical Research Center shared his view on the major events in Central Asia this week. Kazakh startups have been promoted in the Silicon Valley. That became possible through an active work of Silk Road Innovation Hub, which positioned itself as a networking platform for startups from Central Asia. Recently, there was an official opening of the hub in San Francisco. The event was attended by startup community of this region, officials and tech experts. Now I'm joined by Aset Abdoaliyev, founder of Silk Road Innovation Hub. He's joining us from the heart of Silicon Valley, San Francisco City. Hi there, Aset. Thanks for being with us. So tell us more how it became possible to place Kazakh startups in Silicon Valley.
Hi, Noor. It's a pleasure to be here. And yes, you're right. Slightly over 2 weeks ago, we opened up our hub here in Silicon Valley. And hub has been operational since July this year. And the goal of this hub is to really support founders, not only from Kazakhstan, but the whole, we call it Central Eurasian region, which includes 5 Central Eurasian countries, Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Mongolia. And the whole idea is to build the community here in Silicon Valley to support talent, startups, and founders.
So you share some very ambitious goals in next 5 to 7 years to raise 5 unicorns, attract $300 million in startups and export IT services from Central Asia amounted in $1.5 billion. How do you think it will become a reality?
It will become a reality because I think right now our countries have reached a turning point when we have a sufficient number of really talented, smart people from our region who are not only focused on their region, but they're trying to build something overseas, and especially here in Silicon Valley. That's our bet, that the number of people who are here will grow, and these people will create new startups, they'll create new jobs, hence they'll enhance our export of IT services. And this is how we achieve our ambitious goals of finding and building several unicorns from our part of the world, and enhancing the IT export and bringing more investments to our region.
Silicon Valley is, I'm sure, a big dream for all startup entrepreneurs, but it's also important to develop local infrastructure for domestic growth. So do you cooperate with Kazakhstan on that, and if so, how specifically?
Of course, we do cooperate with entities there in our region. Specifically, I would say one of our funding partners is Astana Hub. Astana Hub, arguably the largest startup accelerator in Central Asia, so they're our partners. Then we also partner with IT Park in Uzbekistan. We've partnered with digital development agency in Azerbaijan. So we're building these relationships with key ecosystem players in those countries. And plus, we also partner with corporates from our part of the world, the large ones, the Freedom Finance, Documentolog, InDrive, and those companies.
Mm-hmm. And what is your vision on Kazakh tech industry further developments? Can we see Kazakh Steve Jobs in the nearest future?
Oh, for sure. And that's actually our bet, that I think we have talented youth, and we call it the talent is everywhere, but the opportunities are not. And hence our goal is to create these opportunities here in Silicon Valley for founders from our part of the world, so we could find future Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altmans, and those kind of people.
Thank you very much. Asset Abduali from Silk Road Innovation Hub joined us from San Francisco. Just in a moment, we will be back with more details of how Kazakh athletes perform at the 19th Asian Games in Hangzhou, China. Kazakhstan women's national skeet shooting team brought first golden medal, setting record in tournament. Kazakhstan is taking part in the 19th Asian Games in Hangzhou. So far, the national team of Kazakhstan won 3 gold, 3 silver and 17 bronze awards. The women's national team brought the first gold medal in the skeet exercise, setting at the same time the record of the Asia Games with 350 points. The national team is represented by 554 athletes who compete for 305 medals in 30 sports. It is a record number of sportsmen the country has ever presented for the Games since 1994. Now Kazakhstan is on the 11th place in the overall medal count.
We have been preparing for the current competition. It took us a long time to get to this result. Definitely we can do better. We have shown better results. Perhaps because of the climate it was very hot, thus it was difficult to show good results. But we have still won gold in the team standings.
Kazakhstan for the 3rd time hosts a world-class tennis tournament, the ATP 250 Astana Open 2023. Tennis players from more than 20 countries are now competing on the courts in Kazakh capital. The prize fund of the Astana Open exceeds $1 million. This year, the Kazakh national team is presented by 4 players: Alexander Bublik, Mikhail Kukushkin, Andrei Golubev and Alexander Nedovesov. Earlier, Kazakhstan's Alexander Nedovesov reached the quarter-finals of the tennis tournament. The leader of the men's national team performed in a duet with the representative of Ecuador, Gonzalo Escobar, defeating Sebastian Baez from Argentina and Bernabe Zapata Miralles from Spain.
Obviously, it's important to win the tournament on home soil, but before the tournament, the goal is every time is the same, to go as far as we can and to win every single match. But I understand that to win the tournament in Astana, in the home city, it will be something special. But at the same time, we feel, not we, because my doubles partner is not from Kazakhstan, but I do feel maybe a little bit of more pressure playing home. But yeah, I hope we can maintain the same level of tennis that we played today, and we see how it goes.
That's it for today. This is how we saw this week in Kazakhstan. More news and special projects about our country you can watch on Silkway TV channel. Stay tuned and see you later.